Happy Saturday, happy Saturday, happy Saturday to you. You are tuned in to the American Cream Show, and I'm your host, Hyacinth Henderson. And Cream is a financial educational show where I show you, teach you, lead you, guide you on ways to redefine the American dream on your terms because your terms are the ones that matter, and we do that with Cream. Cream stands for credit, real estate, entrepreneurship, assets, and mindset. I know you're like, wait a minute, Hyacinth is here solo dolo. She is standing alone. It appears that I'm standing alone. What's going on? So, really quickly, for those of you who are loyal Cream listeners, you tune in and week out, you share, you support, you know that I have been taking a Harvard business course for the past 6 weeks. And so during that time period, I would come in and Tavares and I occasionally would record the show. And then sometimes when my schedule was too busy, Mr. Henderson, Antonio Tavares, they would hold down the fort. Well, as the cycle of life would have it, Tavares started a course this week. And so Tavares's course is Tuesdays, Thursdays, and on Saturday mornings. And he's going to be taking that course for the next 6 months. So for the next 6 months, Tavares will be educating and elevating his mindset, educating and elevating himself so that he can come back and help and empower you even better. So what does that mean? You got me. You have me. And so before Facebook Live was around, I used to do the radio show by myself. And as I was getting dressed this morning and preparing mentally, spiritually, physically, I was like, gosh, look at how things come back full circle, right? So February of 2020, I was doing the American Cream Show by myself. And now we're in February 2021 and I'm doing it by myself. Now, occasionally I may call in Mr. Henderson. I may call in Antonio. I may have other special, exciting guests. But for the most part, during these 6 weeks, and Tavares and I, we may record. But for these 6 months, don't be alarmed if you pop in and you're like, Hyacinth is here. So let me tell you all, if you did not watch me on the radio or listen to me on the radio, when I did those solo dolo shows, I had a great time. So you are in for a treat. If you used to watch me on the radio station and you know that I used to kind of get very comfortable, then drop a comment and let us know. If not, I'm going to tell you right now, you're in for a wild and wonky ride today. All right. So strap in. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. I got Miss Ward here. I have Lily Vickers here. DeLawrence Moore. Miss Redhead. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. While you're here, hit the share button. Go ahead and hit it early. I don't want you to get distracted as I start flowing. I want you to be present. So go ahead and hit the share button. It doesn't cost you anything but a second of your time. Hit the share, 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 share. There are 11 people on here. I got somebody else on here, Fab Niece Eulis. Welcome, welcome. So disclosure. I don't have my glasses. So whenever you see me without my glasses on, you can see me and I can barely see you. Okay. So that means the fine print on the screen, I may screw up your name or not, but we're going to have a good time today. All right. So today is about 5 ways to fail to meet your financial goals. That's what we're talking about on the American Cream Show. Now remember, Cream is unconventional. We are redefining it on our terms. So I wanted to come in this morning and drop these 5 ways so that you can take a step back or forward and say, listen, am I doing some of these things? Am I unconsciously doing things that are helping me fail to meet my goals when I should be intentionally doing things that will help me meet my financial goals? So grab your pen, grab your paper. If you don't have it yet and it's not within arm's reach, sit tight. This is going to be up on Facebook. You can always run the tape back. 5 ways to reach your financial goals. The first one is failing to get started. Oh, and really quickly, when I do the solo shows, I have to write it down. I write down my points because if not, I'm long-winded, child. We'll be here for 4 hours and you'll be like, Hyacinth, we don't misunderstanding money too and everything. So I have to write it down to kind of keep me on track and keep me in the time schedule. All right. So way number 1 is failing to get started. Now, sometimes people fail to get started because they think they have time, and sometimes people fail to get started because they think they're out of time. So I want to tell you right now, you don't have time. If you're waiting for a sign, this is it. This is your sign right here, right now, that it is time to get started. Oftentimes we're like, okay, I don't know. I'm waiting. If only this could happen for me. What's going on? No, this is your sign that it's go time. Get started and start now. In the words of Nike, just do it. I'm sure by now we've all either purchased Nike, heard of Nike, saw Nike, and we see that sign, their slogan, just do it, so frequently that sometimes we may take it for granted. We're like, oh, there's Nike, just do it. You can recognize Nike, it's just do it. But listen, that's a powerful 3-word slogan. Just do it. You think you have time, you're waiting for a sign. It's go time. Get started right now, right here, today. So if you are committed, if you're like, Hyacinth, you know what? You're talking to me. Go ahead and drop a 1 in the chat and say, listen, I'm starting right now. I'm starting or I'm restarting. Listen, I don't know if you all grew up in the Baptist church. I grew up in a Baptist church, right? And so at some point in service, the preacher, the pastor, the minister would do an altar call, and they would say the doors of the church are open. So here we go. The doors to your financial freedom are open. Drop a 1 in the comment. Come on down to the altar. Drop a 1 in the comment if you're going to get started or restart it. If you're committed to starting today because you don't want to fail to meet your financial goals, you want to achieve your financial goals. And if we're going to do that, we got to first make the commitment. All right. So we're going to come on down, drop those 1s in those comments. If you're going to start or get started, I should see those runs rolling in. I should see them rolling in 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Either you're starting or you're restarting. Today is the day you've been waiting for a sign, and it is go time. Don't worry about yesterday. Don't worry about what happened last week. Today, you are no longer failing to get started. And I love to see those 1s coming in. All right. So number 2. Failing to eliminate unhealthy debt. Now, the key word, the code word is unhealthy. I didn't say all debt, okay? Because I want you to know that debt itself is neither good nor bad. Let me say that again. Debt is neither good nor bad. It is your use of debt that either makes it good or bad. It's like me and my love of food or my love of potatoes, right? I love potatoes, French fry queen, baked potato, mashed potatoes. I love potatoes. Now, if I wanted to take a cop out, I would be like, you know what? Potatoes are bad. I would be, fine like wine if I just stopped eating potatoes. But if I really wanted to have a kumbaya moment with myself, I would say, Hyacinth, those potatoes ain't good or bad, honey. You frying the potatoes and you could be baking them potatoes. You frying those potatoes and you could be boiling those potatoes. You're eating those potatoes every day and you could be eating them once a week. So I want you to have that same mindset when you think about your relationship to debt, because it's time for us to change the relationship with debt. It's time for us as a people to stop falling into this trap of thinking that debt is bad. It's not. It's how you use it. And today we're going to talk about failing to eliminate unhealthy debt. It's neither good nor bad. What makes it unhealthy? I want you to understand this. First, let's go back. Let's continue on the food thing. Now, as I said, potatoes are neither good nor bad. So when I want to achieve my body goals, I have to understand 2 things. I have to understand my body and the role that food plays in it. If you want to achieve your big financial goals, and I said big with the capital B-I-G, not small, because 2021 is the year of wealth. If you want to achieve your big financial goals, you must understand, number 1, your financial goals and objectives, and number 2, how you use OPM, other people's money. Somebody drop OPM in the comments for me. If you're here, if you're in tune, if you're not just watching and like, oh my gosh, I'm texting at the same time while Hyacinth is talking. If you're present, drop OPM in the comment section for me. I want to know that you all are committed to really learning this money game. And so when you drop OPM in the comment section, I'm going to wait till they start rolling in. When they start rolling in, then I'm going to break down what OPM means and how you can use it to your advantage. OPM stands for other people's money. So if you want to stop using debt in an unhealthy way, if we want to eliminate unhealthy debt, then we got to understand our financial goals and objectives and how to use OPM. Now, I want to give you guys a visual. When you say, Hyacinth, why I want to use other people's money? I want to be a single independent woman and have my own money. Why I want to use other people's money? Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. Understand this. It's a process to this, right? So your money is good, but it kind of tastes better when you use other people's money. It tastes a little bit better. Let me give you an example. So, but I like eating. I told you that already. If this is your first solo dolo show with Hyacinth Henderson, a lot of my stories and references are going to deal with food because I like to eat. All right. So check it. So when me and Bae go out, right? It's like we had got to this point that I would eat the food off his plate. And he would just kind of give me these looks. He wouldn't say anything, but he would give me these looks. And so he got smart. He was like, okay. So he wait for me to order. And then he will order, and he will order two of whatever it was he's going to order. And I'm like, what's going on with this? I'm like, why you order two? He's like, oh, one for you. And I'm like, no, I don't want one. I don't want one. He's like, you sure? Are you sure you don't want one? I'm sure I don't want one. And in that moment, I had to realize that I did want it, but I only wanted it because I wanted to eat it off his plate. So when you understand how you can use other people's money to your advantage, you're going to start looking at yourself like, wait a minute, why would I use my money when I could use somebody else's money? So when we learn how to use OPM, other people's money, AKA debt, debt is a fancy word for other people's money. I'm going to say that again. It's almost like when I want things. I don't want to use my money. I want to use other people's money. It means that you are basically saying, I want to borrow it right quick. Let me borrow that right quick. Let me take that off your plate right quick. Oh, but I can give you your own. Nah, but I don't really want my own. I want yours. Right? So it gives you the power of liquidity, use, and control. Write that down. Debt gives you the power of liquidity, use, and control. In this money game, you want three things: liquidity, use, and control. You want those three things. It doesn't matter whose money it is, how it comes along. You want liquidity, use, and control. Now, how you use this money is really what makes all the difference. Let's go back to unhealthy debt. Unhealthy debt, plain and simple, is consumer debt. What is consumer debt? Consumer debt is a fancy term for saying money used for things that you consume and it don't grow. Money used for things that you consume and it doesn't appreciate in value. It doesn't give you anything back. It does not grow. So when you think about consumer debt, what is the first type of consumer debt that comes to mind? I want you to think about that. Think about that. We're talking about unhealthy debt. We're talking about understanding that we can use our money. We can use other people's money. We can eat our food. We can eat Bay's food. We can do whatever we want to do. It just depends on how we use the tools that we have. So what is consumer debt? Consumer debt, consumer debt, consumer debt. I'm going to give you a clue because I don't see anything coming in the chat on that topic. Real quick, consumer debt is credit card debt. That's the most common debt that we can think of. Credit card debt. When you think of credit card debt, so when I say you will fail to meet your financial goals if you do not eliminate unhealthy debt, not all debt. Potatoes aren't bad. It's the way I like to eat them are bad, right? I like them fried and dyed, right? That's what makes them bad. All debt isn't bad. Unhealthy debt. So if you fail to eliminate unhealthy debt, something called compound interest starts hitting you with the 1-2 punch. You're like, wait a minute, I have these goals and dreams. I keep saying I want to pay off my car. I keep saying I want to pay off my credit cards. I'm paying a little extra every month. I'm paying a little extra, but this credit card bill will never go down because it's hitting you with the sneak attack, that 1-2 punch, and you're thinking you're doing the right thing because you're not missing a payment, but not realizing that just because you aren't missing a payment, they're like, fine, keep making your minimum payments on time. We're going to keep reporting you to the credit bureau as you're making the payments on time, and you're going to think you're doing just fine. And then guess what? You're going to look up and say, dang, this person over here won't qualify me, where I can get some real money, where I can tap into real OPM. I can't qualify because I have too much consumer debt. So what do we want to do? We want to eliminate your unhealthy debt because it's how you use things that make all the difference. Liquidity, use, and control. Remember that. We're going to come back to that. All right. That's what you need in this money game. Money used to buy stuff that does not appreciate is consumer debt, and we don't have any time for that. The third way that is keeping you from meeting your financial goals is failing to protect your assets. Ooh, yes. Failing to protect your assets. Now, when you think of assets, most times when I ask people what are assets, they give me all these things that are external to themselves. I'm going to take a little sip of drink, and while you listen and let that marinate, I want you to drop in the comment section, what's the first word, the first thing that pops in your mind when I say, what are your assets? What are your assets? I'm going to give you some time. What are your assets? What are your assets? When you think assets, what do you hear? What's the word that you hear? Assets, OPM. Somebody said, I don't know if that's late or if there's a delay. I see OPM coming in. I see Awesome Tavares coming in. There must be a delay in the comment section. All right, let's keep rolling. Assets. The number one asset is you. While we're talking about assets, a minute ago, before we get into this, a minute ago, I said that we are going to use liquidity, use, and control. I want you to write the word control in big, bold letters. I see stuff coming in, some property, my mouse, some things are coming in. Okay, so remember I said liquidity, use, and control. Before we get into assets, I want you to write down the word control. And I don't want you to just write it in small letters. I want you to write it in big, bold letters. And then I want you to say, own nothing, control everything. And after you say that, I want you to circle the word control. And then we're going to come back to that. We're going to come back to that. We'll come back to that later. In fact, I'll do a show on it next week. I'll do a show on it next week that talks about protecting your assets with a tool that gives you total control, because we want liquidity, use, and control. Own nothing, control everything. And so next week, I'm going to bring you back, and I already got today's show outlined, so I can't go into details, but set your alarm clocks, set a reminder, tell your friends, call the kids, call the nieces, nephews, and the grands, let them know, hey, next Saturday, 9:15 on the American Cream Show, Hyacinth is going to be talking about control and how we can protect our assets with a tool that gives us complete control with no risk. All right, so now let's go back. When you think of assets, your biggest asset is yourself. Let me just say it. We're going to put on our big girl shirts today. We're going to put on our big girl panties. Let me say what I wanted to say. We're going to put on our big girl drawers today and big guy boxes today. You are your biggest assets. There's no more playing small. You are your biggest asset. Sit with that. I am my biggest asset. So if you are your biggest asset to yourself, to your family, to your employer, to your lover, you got to protect yourself. You have to protect yourself. Let me say this. Think about it in this way. Let me tell you why I know you're your biggest asset. If something were to happen to you, who's going to be affected? How them kids going to eat? Who's going to get them ready for school? Sure, you may be married. Sure, you may have baby, whatever the situation is. But your role in that family and the ecosystem will be missed. Your role at your business will be missed. Your role as it relates to your family members will be missed. You are an asset. Say, I am my biggest asset. That is dropped in the comments. These are affirmations. See, as I'm educating you, I'm also reprogramming that subconscious mind, because we don't have time to play small. That's not what we do. Everything I do, we're doing it big. We're doing it real big. So drop that in the comments. I am my biggest asset. So think about this. So if the third way to fail to meet our financial goals is failing to protect our assets, ask yourself, have you protected yourself? Have you? Have you protected yourself? You know what I'm going to say? Insurance, that pesky I word that for some reason nobody likes to talk about. That's right, Janice. I am my biggest asset. I should see more coming in. Is Janice the only one that knows who she is? Is Janice the only one that's making 2021 her year of wealth? Is Janice the only one that's showing up and showing out this year? I should see I am my biggest asset coming in. They should be rolling in the comment. The comment section should be clogged up with I am my biggest asset. Don't worry. I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to say, oh, this person, you were watching my Facebook Live. It don't matter who you are. I am my biggest asset. 2021 is the year of wealth. What are you doing? That's an affirmation. You're reprogramming your subconscious mind right here in real time at 9:15 on this beautiful Saturday morning. All right, so let me tell you a story about insurance. Since you're your biggest asset and you understand that you must protect yourself, I want you to get cozy and comfortable with that word insurance. It's an I word. And let me tell you, let me just share an example. Then we're going to bust down the types of insurances that I want you, need you, encourage you to explore. I'm going to just tell you a story. I know I like telling stories because I feel like this stuff like this happens every day, and we try to overcomplicate finances and money and stuff, but we get little clues and tips every day, but we kind of miss them and go over our head. So let me take you back. All right, not long ago, it was about 2 months ago. It was December of 2020. It was just December, y'all, December. All right, so it was like a few days before Christmas. I'm in the nail shop. I got a hot date with babes. I'm like, let me get my nails done, toes did, everything did. And then my phone rings. My good friend calls me and she's like, hey, I've been looking everywhere for this Nintendo Switch and there's one right by you that has it. And I'm like, girl, I'm in a nail shop. And she's like, okay, well, up here, I'm an hour away. No area, no store up here has it. I've been searching. And it probably was like 3 days before Christmas. For those of you who don't know, I don't get into the Christmas stuff. I don't buy Christmas gifts, but whatever. She called, and she called, happened to be my favorite baby, Riley. Shout out to my girl, Riley. She was like, it's for Riley. I'm like, God, dog. Okay, so now let me figure I can finish getting my nails done, go over here to this GameStop and try to find out what a Nintendo Switch. So I go into the store. And time wasted. I'm like, all right, cool, boom, let's check it. Go in, I show the people my phone. I'm like, this is what the mom said we're looking for. Because you asking me, and I don't know. I don't know what a Nintendo Switch does, is, or what it costs. This is what we're looking for. The lady's like, okay. So she goes and she gets it. She brings it up. I said, I'm going to meet you at the register. I'm going to be over here. You be over there. We get to the register and she's like, okay, do you want insurance on this? For XYZ, I think like $30 or something, maybe $50, whatever it was. Do you want some insurance? It was less than the $400 that the game cost. And I was like, I don't know. Let me ask the mom. It's not for me. So I call. She's not answering. I say, okay. She calls me back. And I'm like, hey, they want to know, do you want the insurance? And she's like, insurance? Nah. And I'm like, why did I even call you and ask you? Ma'am, we will take the insurance. We're going to protect this $400 game, and we're going to pay $30 or $40 because my baby Riley is probably 8. If she drops her game, if she breaks the screen, something happens, if water gets into it, you're telling me that for $40, I'm going to be able to protect my $400 investment? Give me the insurance. Now, and I said to the mom, I said, I don't even know why I called you. It's a no-brainer. I want you to look at your life that way. I want you to look at your life that way because we have this negative association with the word insurance, and really, it's a trade-off. You can't get insurance after the game is broken. We can't get insurance after you don't transition to the pearly gates. We can't get insurance then. So if you understand the value that you bring, then you will be able to own and accept that you are your biggest asset. Who is going to be affected in the event of your untimely death? Who? Who's going to be affected? Who is going to be affected in the event of your spouse's untimely death, your child's untimely death? Who's going to be affected? So when we talk about assets, I want you to write this down. I need insurance. I need insurance. It's okay. I need insurance. I had a discovery call with a gentleman yesterday. He says, you know what? I got term insurance and I'm tired of paying this term insurance. I got 10 years left on the term. And I'm like, okay, I'm listening because I'm getting riled up. I'm like, yeah, term, term is passe. You may not need term. And I said, wait a minute. How much you pay for this term? He says $38 a month. I said, okay. All right, you pay $38 a month for this term. What's the insurance amount? $750,000. Hold up, wait a minute. I wanted to say, but I kept my professional hat on. If you don't want to pay for it, I pay for it. Just make me the policy owner, and then I come up off those little $38 a month every month. I wanted to say that, but I didn't say it because I figured, high C, be professional. But in his mind, he was tired of paying the $38 a month. He has a child. He has one child. I said, listen, if something happens to you, your child gets $750,000 and we don't want to pay that? No. Hold on. Before you cancel it, you're going to have your follow-up with Mr. Henderson, but I want you to sit on that. You have got to reprogram your subconscious mind. You have got to start looking at things in a different way. If you know that you are your biggest asset, and if you know that you have loved ones, if you know that you have businesses and things that you love and you adore and you care so much for, protect yourself. All right. Outside from life insurance, call you. This is James C. I feel your spirit. Where do you get life insurance from? You get it from the Henderson Financial Group, 305-825-1444. Once again, 305-825-1444. That's where you get your life insurance from. If you're on here and you haven't hit the share button, go ahead and hit the share button. This is some good information. We're talking about 5 ways that you can fail to meet your financial goals. Hit the share button. Doesn't cost you anything but a second of your time. All right. So the first one is, you need life insurance. The second one, you need some long-term care insurance. You need long-term care insurance. I take care of my mother. My mother, I think she'll be 60 this year. I've been taking care of her for over 10 years. It ain't fun. I run a business. I take care of my children, and I take care of my mother. You need long-term care insurance. Until you are in it, until you realize how taking care of someone else puts a strain on the relationship or affects you in your life, you don't understand the value of it. But I promise you, even if you got a husband, you need some long-term care insurance because your husband loves you. But I'm pretty sure that every day for the rest of your life, if something happens, he don't want to change your diapers and wipe your butt. Same thing for your children. Every day for the rest of your life, if something happens, they don't want to change your diaper and wipe your butt. My brother ain't seen my mom in over a year. I'm telling you, you need long-term care insurance. If you're single, you definitely need long-term care insurance. So look at that and say, I'm living my best life right now. But if something happens to me, and long-term care insurance is not just reserved to old age. It's not reserved to old age. Anything could happen. You could have an accident. I don't want to speak those things into existence, but if anything shifts and you're going to require some help with the activities of daily living, you're going to require somebody to help you get bathed, somebody to help you eat, somebody to help you brush your teeth, somebody to help you get out of bed. Instead of laying in that bed saying, I don't have nobody to help me, tap into your long-term care insurance policy and pay somebody to help you. 95% of your problems can be solved by writing a check. You need to be able to access that money. That's using other people's money. OPM. You pay a premium, they pay you bigger. That's how it goes. If you never need it, good. It's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. So life insurance, definitely, long-term care insurance, and then for my business people. If you're in any type of business, you need some liability insurance. Now, I don't know what business you're in. It's a lot of y'all on here. I don't want to get personal. I don't want you to start telling me what your businesses and stuff are, but there are two main types of liability insurance. It may be general liability insurance for your business, or it can be professional liability insurance. You have to do your research. Y'all know I talk about starting your own business, going into business for yourself, monetizing your gifts, you a business owner, serving other people. Insurance is a part of that conversation. You know why? Because it saves you. It helps you what we call mitigate risk. If you don't protect your assets, you put yourself at risk. We don't know what's going to happen. COVID came out of nowhere. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Before COVID came, the government shut down. We didn't know that was going to happen. So the point is, expect the unexpected and be prepared for it. Go ahead and cut that check. Get the $40 insurance for the game. You insure your cell phones. Some of y'all don't insure your cars. I don't know how that happens, but you need to start looking at an insurance in a different way and saying, I am protecting my asset, and I'm protecting my asset because I don't want this hiccup, this bump in the road. So when I say that failing to protect your asset is a way to lead you to financial failure, well, because if you don't make the small monthly investment, then you have a bigger issue. You end up with a bigger issue down the line. So I want you to think about, I think it was Benjamin Franklin who said, this was on a $100 bill, right? Ben Franklin, all about the Benjis, baby. Yes, that's him. Benjamin Franklin is on a $100 bill. So he's on a $100 bill. Y'all like $100 bills. That means y'all respect him. Maybe not. All right. So he said, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. What I teach and preach to my loved ones all the time is protection, protection, protection. For you, that's prevention, prevention, prevention. What does that mean? That means doing the things you need to do right now to be prepared to prevent an illness or prevent a catastrophic event, not an illness, excuse me, but to prevent a catastrophic event is worth so much more than all of a sudden the event happening and you not being prepared. And now you got to put so much more effort, aka money, into solving this problem. Now, because you didn't do that ounce of prevention, you got a pound of cure that you have to bring to the table. Let's talk about this as it relates to children. And I got to bring the youth into this. If you've ever tuned into the American Cream, you know that in some way, shape, form, or fashion, I'm going to bring the youth into this. When we talk about youth and children, raising our children, our nieces, our nephews, the people in the community, our godchildren, it is much easier to spend the time in those early years being present, preparing them, loving them, listening to them, leading them, guiding them, teaching them. You do it for 18 years, and then let's say they live to 100. They got 82 more years to go. But what happens is oftentimes in their early years, we don't want to be present. We want them to do things on their own. And then when they're grown, you're like, wait a minute, why are you acting like this? So I think another saying is raise your children, spoil your grandchildren. or spoil your children and raise your grandchildren? Same thing when we're talking about insurance, money, assets, same exact thing. Which one are you going to do? You're going to pay now or pay later? You're going to raise your children later, or you're going to be raising the grandkids later because you ain't raising kids right? Which one are you going to do? You're going to prepare and have long-term care insurance. You're going to prepare and get some life insurance, or they're going to be selling tilapia dinners and check sodas and GoFundMe's. Pick a side, pick a side, pick a side. What are we going to do? An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Once you get that in your mind and start looking at things in a different way, because that's what the American Cream is about. It's about redefining the American dream on your terms. What is the American dream? The American dream is what you've been told and sold. Point blank, period. Is what you've been told and sold. Now ask yourself, and then look around to the 5 people that are around you. Are they living the American dream? Are they thriving, or are they surviving? So on Cream, we redefine the American dream on our terms, because we don't want to do what they did. We don't want to do what has been done in our family line for generations to come. We don't want to do what our neighbors do. We don't want to do what our coworkers do. We're going to redefine this thing. If we're going to redefine this thing, I can't just talk to you all sweet and say, oh, maybe, surely you should get some insurance. I got to give it to you below the raw. So that's what we got to do. This is what we doing. I know y'all probably missed Tavares already, but ta-da, it's me. It's Hyacinth. All right, so protect yourself. Protect your assets. It will save you in the long run. The fourth way that you fail to meet your financial goals is failing to spread your wings, aka diversify, aka failing to put all your eggs. Think about Easter. I think Easter is coming up. If you do an Easter egg hunt, and you go to the house, or however y'all do it nowadays, and you do, I don't know, but Easter egg hunt, I'm not going to paint the picture because it may have varied. I haven't done an Easter egg hunt in a very long time. But let's say you go to do the Easter egg hunt and all the eggs are behind one tree. Like, you go and you get all those eggs, and then you're like, okay, we still got this big yard out here. I mean, you mean to tell me you didn't put an egg under this flower pot? You didn't put an egg over here in the mailbox? You didn't put an egg in this pothole? You didn't think I wanted to have eggs everywhere? I wanted to have the joy of just finding all the eggs behind one tree? Is that what you really thought I wanted to do, man? Forget this Easter egg hunt. I ain't coming back to the Easter egg hunt no more. Don't do that with your insurance. Don't do that with your financial assets. Spread your assets out. I did a show on the American Cream podcast where I went over the different asset classes. If you haven't listened to it, make sure you listen to it. You can download it wherever you listen to podcasts. Asset classes meaning stocks, bonds, real estate. I like to say insurance is an asset class. Now, I know some of y'all may be saying, oh, Hyacinth, I don't know about that. I never heard that. My mama and them ain't have insurance. They never told me that insurance was an asset class. I know, but we're doing things differently on the American Cream. So when I say that insurance is an asset class, let me tell you why. An asset, in my mind, is something that produces money for you, gives you income, gives you money. So why do I say an insurance policy, life insurance policy, when it's structured correctly, not any insurance policy, when it's structured correctly, it is considered an asset or an asset class? Because here's the thing with an insurance policy. When you got a good insurance policy and it's structured the correct way, you put money into it. You put it in there, you build it, you structure it, you put money in, you put money in, you put money in, and this is what it does. It grows. And so it grows because it's tied to, I'm talking about a fixed index universal life policy, not all life insurances. You can't do this with term life. So it grows because it's tied to an index that gives you what we call gains, upside potential. So if you got your money that you're putting over here and it grows when the market does well, when the index does well, then you get some extra money. You're like, okay, boom. I gave it some money. It gave me back some more money. And if something happened to me, then my family is covered. Now, here's the thing. Here's where it gets sweet. When you currently put cryptocurrency is an asset class. We're going to have a show on that. Cryptocurrency is definitely an asset class. I just have to figure out how I can have that show, because as a registered investment advisor, that means I'm regulated. They kind of got handcuffs on me. But we're going to have a show on that. I think cryptocurrency certainly is a conversation that needs to be had, especially as we're transitioning, going through this transitionary period. If you follow me on Facebook or Instagram, you know I've said their systems are falling. They're crumbling. And as they're crumbling, I love it, because then things get to be rebuilt. And so you either are on the side of the wave or like, oh my gosh, they're crumbling. What are they going to do? Or they're crumbling. This is my opportunity to recognize that new things are being built. I don't want to rebuild the same things. And I believe that cryptocurrency is one of those things. that while certain things are crumbling, that's an avenue for new things to be built. All right, so let's go back. Insurance as an asset class. So when you talk about life insurance, so a good fixed index life insurance policy, universal life insurance policy, fixed index IUL, index universal life insurance policy, blah, 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 IUL, index universal life. Got it. Okay. You put money in, it's tied to an index. When the index does well, you get money. When the index doesn't do well, you don't lose money. You got that? That means when the ride and you're having a good time and life's great, your hands are up, whoa, I'm having a time of my life. When they come and they shut it down, you're like, I'm out of here. I'm standing off in the corner. They don't even see me. They shut the party down. They didn't see me. I'm invisible. Why does that matter to you? It matters to you because down the line in retirement, or whenever you like, it doesn't have to be retirement. I like to use it for retirement because I don't want to eat all my nuts right now. I like to save some for later, but that's another show. Down the line in retirement or whenever you need it, you can then say, hey, you know that money I was putting in and I seen that y'all was giving me some money too. You was crediting my policy with some money. I like that. How can I get some of that? Oh, you want some of the money that we were putting in and then we gave you some more money? We made money for you on top of your money because it's an asset? Just sign the paper. That's it. You don't need to run my credit? No. You don't need to know if I'm working? No. The money's here. We checked your account. You have XYZ available. Sign right here. You want check or you want direct deposit? And do you want it overnight or do you want UPS? Do you want next day direct deposit or you want 3-day direct deposit? That's sweet. Where can you do that? Listen, hey, the money is there and I just need to sign and drive. You literally sign and drive. Now, that's not even the best part about it. The best part about it is you don't pay taxes on this money. And I know some of you out there listening are thinking taxes. Listen, if you haven't listened to that cream episode, I can't remember what it's titled, but I talked to you about when you're making 2021 your year of wealth, when you have big goals, you look at taxes in a different way. You don't look at taxes in what am I getting back from a tax refund. I'm going to say the small-minded. We either graduated or we're graduating from that space. There are a large number of people who I want to get $5,000 back on my taxes. I want to claim other people's kids. We're not on that no more. We're trying to figure out how to pay the government less taxes. So when you understand that you being able to withdraw money from a policy or from an account that you were able to put money into, have a good time with your hands up. Then when the cops came in, you got invisible, AKA have a good time and appreciate the market gains. But then when the market went down, you weren't in it. Your name is Bennett and you're not in it. That's glory. Then on top of that, you don't have to pay taxes when you pull the money out. Talk about tax-free retirement. I want to pay less taxes. You want to pay less taxes. Everybody wants to pay less taxes. So you get to allow this asset to continue to grow for you and then pull it out without paying taxes. You can't do that in the stock market. Sorry. We can build your account up. We can trade and do all this and invest and we make you $1 million. Uncle Sam want a piece of that. No. Let me rephrase that. Uncle Sam gonna get a piece of that. In the stock market, you have to pay taxes. You got to pay capital gains taxes. It's just how it goes. If you have your money in a qualified retirement account, you got to pay taxes on it. When you want to pull money out, it doesn't matter if you're 59 and a half or over 59 and a half or under 59 and a half. You have to pay taxes when you pull money out of your qualified account. You have to pay taxes when you pull money out of your stock account. You do not have to pay taxes when you pull money out of your life insurance account. Now, tell me why it's not an asset class. It is certainly an asset class. So back to diversifying. We're not putting all of our eggs, all the Easter eggs behind one tree. That's no fun. I don't want to come here to your funky Easter egg hunt anymore because all your eggs are behind one tree. Diversify. Look at your portfolio. Look at what you have. So that's your stock portfolio, your investment portfolio. Do you have real estate? Real estate is another beautiful asset class. We love real estate. Do you have real estate? And are you using it in a way that is in alignment with your financial goals and your financial destiny? So at this point, I want you to make a commitment and say, you know what? I am spreading my wings. Go. That's in the comment section. I am spreading my wings. It doesn't matter if you haven't spread them yet. You still have those wings. As long as you have life in your body, air in your lungs, you still have wings to spread. So what does that mean? You're going to take a look at all your investments. You're going to take a look at all your assets, see what you have going on. Sit down with a cold glass of lemonade and go through and say, okay, I maybe have too much money in cash. Another place that people keep too much money is in cash in the bank. If you come to me and you tell me you have $100,000 in the bank, I had a call with somebody. I think this person has like $800,000 in the bank. The bank, BANK, bank. They ain't giving them 1%. Diversify. You got to figure out how to spread your wings, because really the root of not diversifying is based on two things. Maybe one, you didn't know that there were other asset classes available. You didn't know that there were other places that you could hide your Easter eggs. You thought this was the only tree and you just had to keep them there. I'm here to tell you. So that's one. And the other reason why we don't diversify is because we're scared. We're scared. If you're scared, say you're scared. It's okay. You're scared. What are you scared of? You're scared of taking a risk because you think that you're going to lose. And that tells me that's a scarcity mindset. In life, if you want to make 2021 your year of wealth, if you want to achieve big goals and big dreams, you're going to have to take risks. Yes, we take calculated risks. Just like that insurance policy. I said, hey, I want to have a good time at the party. We rave and we having a good time. But when the popo come beating down the door, y'all don't see me. That's a calculated risk. It's tied to an index. That means when the stock market is doing good, I'm getting those index gains and returns. But when it does bad, don't give me them losses. I'll be okay over here with a 0. I'll be okay over here in the fixed account with a 4%. So while the market is doing bad, I'm safe over here. So you have to take risk, but we have to take calculated risk. So ask yourself, I got $50,000 sitting in the bank. Do my 6 months of living expenses equate to $50,000? Yes, no. Okay, yes, they do. Okay, maybe I want to keep it there because I want to be able to touch it. But anything over and above your 6 months of living and expenses should not be housed in a bank. They ain't giving you nothing. Look at your statement. When they say interest credit, they have a dollar sign. They just put that dollar sign there to just mess with your mind, make you get excited. But right after that dollar sign is a 0. Dollar sign, 0, then point, maybe 5 cents, 15 if you're fancy. Look at that and say, wait a minute. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this anymore. I still have time. I'm starting right now. Not now, but right now, because 2021 is the year of what? It's the year of wealth. And on the American Cream, we do what? We redefine the American dream on whose terms? Our terms, not nobody else's terms. It's our terms because it's our life and our legacy that we're building and leaving for our loved ones. All right. So failing to spread your wings or diversify. Now, the fifth is failing to work with a professional. If you're just tuning in, you're a little late to the show, but it's okay. We'll leave this up. You can always go back and run the tape back. We are talking about 5 ways to fail to meet your financial goals. 5 ways to fail to meet your financial goals. If you haven't done so yet, share it. It's a great video. It don't cost you nothing. I gave you a whole bunch of free information. Just do me a solid, like that reciprocation. Just hit the share button and we're good to go. We'll call it even for the low price of FREE. So the 5th way that you can fail to meet your financial goals is failing to work with a professional. Now, trust me, I'm a fan of YouTube University. I love me some YouTube. I'm a fan of YouTube University, but I understand, and I'm a fan of Google. If I don't know something, hey, did you ask Google? You calling me? You could be Googling this, right? That's what I be thinking sometimes, oftentimes, most of the time. So I'm a fan of YouTube and Google. But here's the thing. You don't know what you don't know. So Google and YouTube returns results based on what you ask it. So if you ask a certain question, it's going to give you an answer that's specific to that question. The thing is, you don't know what other questions you should be asking. You don't know what else you need to know. So there are certain things that you should know, but then there's certain things, that you know. There are certain things that you know that you should know. And then there are some things that you don't even know that you don't even know. So when it comes to hiring a professional, it is the secret sauce to you achieving your financial goals. Yes, you can do it yourself, but at some point you're going to get to that place where it's like, okay, I've educated myself. I've used YouTube University, friends, family, books, or whatever to get me to this point. But now I know that I'm not an expert. I'm an expert at what I do in my day job. And since this money thing is near and dear to me, and I'm committed to making 2021 my year of wealth, I'm committed to achieving my financial goals. I am committed to not only living and leaving a legacy for me, but for my family as well. I need some help. You need a financial professional. That may be a financial accountant, financial planner, a financial consultant, a money coach, a mindset coach. You need some financial help. An attorney, You need to hire professionals. So failing to work with professionals jeopardizes you and puts you at risk of messing things up and then have to do a cleanup. It's like, why you touch that? If you ain't touch it, we wouldn't have had to clean it up. Now I got to stop what I'm doing. I got to clean it up. And because I got to clean up, it's a clean up on aisle 6. Now I got to tax you. I have to charge you more because I have to undo what you did. Or you started going down this path and like the GPS, I got to reroute you. So we're going to lose a little bit of time and a little bit of momentum and reroute you and get you back on this highway. Because I know you know where you wanted to go. You knew where the destination was, but you thought that you can go this way, even though you weren't sure. So now I got to come over here and get you, bring you back, reroute, Waze is reroute, you get you back on the highway. Now we're going here. That's time. You don't get back time. You don't get it back. So in whatever capacity, wherever you are in your financial journey, ask yourself, who are the professionals that I need? Who are the professionals? And let me say this. One of the professionals that most of us need at some point in our lives is a therapist. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about normalizing mental health. Let's talk about normalizing mental help. So that's one of the professionals. We got these insurance. We got these county jobs, whatever the case may be. We got this good insurance. Call them. Hey, what are my benefits? How many sessions a year can I get? Because I'll tell you something. The money game starts in the mind. I love mindset work. I love mindset work. I can make the numbers dance all day long. But if I'm telling you that you're making $100,000 a year and you're single and you have no children and you have nothing saved, and if I say to you, you have the means to put aside $1,000 a month for your savings, investments, and retirements, and you say, I just can't do it. It's a mindset. And it's only so much work that I can do as a mindset coach. But the mental health expert can do more work. So you got to take an assessment and say, what professionals do I need? Do I need a professional accountant? You've grown, you've listened, you've amassed, you started businesses, you've amassed assets, you have properties. Stop doing your taxes. Take it to the professional. Stop going to TurboTax. It's time. You got to level up. What professionals do you need? How do you figure out what professionals you need? By assessing your current stage. What cycle are you in? Because there are some cycles. Once upon a time, I used to go to H&R Block. I went to Little Tink Tink in Miami Gardens in the corner in the back door, and she did my taxes. I can't do that no more. Now I got to call Larissa. Handle this. I can't do that anymore. What professionals do you need? Are you trading your account? Are you trading your account? Do you know how to trade your account? Do you know how to put stop losses in place? What's going on? How do you work with the professional? Where are you in your journey? Retirement. You want to retire in 10 years. You want to retire in 12 years. The people on your job are not your retirement planning specialists. I'm here to tell you that now. They're going to tell you put your money in the 401k. That's it. After you put your money in the 401k, what comes next? What professional help do you need? What professionals do you need to hire? It's okay. I love YouTube University and Google. You have to show up to the rodeo with your cowboy boots on. What does that mean? You got to start doing some exploring and some studying. That's what YouTube University is good for. But now that you show up, just because I show up to the rodeo in my cowboy boots and I got my hat on, my good cowgirl hat, and it's blinged out, don't mean I can I'm ready to get on the bull, and I ain't ready for that. I need to get some lessons, get a professional. I need some consultations. I need some help. So when you fail to work with the professional, you really say, I think that I'm going to achieve this goal, but I know I'm not an expert at it. So I'm going to just kind of wing it. I'm going to just try to piece stuff together instead of eating the whole thing, putting a whole meal, putting that whole spread. When somebody comes and lays out a whole spread in front of you, you're like, oh my goodness, this is lovely. But if they keep piecing you together, little piece, you're not as into it. So really quickly, and then I'm going to let you go because it's 10:04 and I'm going to be on time today. I'm going to go back through. Once again, you are listening to the American Cream Show. The American Cream is a financial educational show where I show you, teach you, lead you, guide you on ways to redefine the American dream on your terms. Your terms are the ones that matter. And CREAM stands for credit, real estate, entrepreneurship, assets, and most importantly, and my favorite, is mindset. You got to have that mind right, because when that money is set, the mind will set. Today's show was about 5 ways to fail to meet your financial goals. Number 1, failing to get started. If you're looking for a sign, this is the sign. It's go time. Number 2, failing to eliminate unhealthy debt. The debt isn't bad. It's your use of the debt that makes it bad. Consumer debt, we got to get into that. What are we using this consumer debt for? Take a peek at that. Then come up with a debt elimination plan. If you need help with the debt elimination plan, give us a call, 305-825-1444. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, 305-825-1444. So that's number 2. Number 3, failing to protect your assets. You are your biggest asset. It don't matter what nobody told you. Don't matter what your hating mama told you, what your hating sister, cousin, daddy, boss, whoever told you. They want you to play small. You're your biggest asset. Protect yourself. You need life insurance, some form of long-term care insurance, and if you have a business, you're going to need you some liability insurance. Number 4, failing to spread your wings, aka diversify. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. I'm not coming to your Easter egg hunt and you got all the eggs in the mailbox. I want to be able to explore. I want an egg over here, egg over here. Oh, I get to eat this one. Ooh, the golden egg is over here. This egg got a $50 bill in it. Diversify your assets so that when the market shifts, like the stock market has been in the correction period now, you're not pulling your hair out. You're like, all right, it's all right. We'll be okay. We'll weather the storm. I got an egg over here. I got an egg, something over there simmering behind that tree. They ain't get to that one yet. Diversify your assets. Spread your wings. Number 5, failing to work with a professional. You need a professional. You need to educate yourself, but you also need a professional. You need professionals, not a professional. You need several professionals. Make an assessment, decide which professionals you need, because this is the secret sauce. This is the key. Before I can invest your money, before we talk about anything else, if you don't get started, if you don't address these 5 things, we're going to be on that hamster wheel. And I don't know about you, but I don't have time to be on a hamster wheel. I'm on a rocket, a spaceship. You know what that is? Going up. We're not going down. We're not going around and around in circles. All right, so let me do a quick rundown. I see my girl L on here. Larissa Humphrey, is always a pleasure. If you need some real tax planning, some real tax strategy, some real tax expert type stuff, that's Larissa. You want to hit her up. Brenda Brown, hey, I've been seeing that name a lot lately. Thank you so much for tuning in. I got L, I got Tracy. What's up, Tracy? As always, I see your name popping up here. That means you're getting all this good financial information. While you're here, people, please hit that share button. It doesn't cost you anything. You know what? You can share this for the low price of FREE. What's better than that? Free. We like free stuff. All right, hit the share button. Islan, hey, Islan says, good show as always. Thank you so much for tuning in. Erica Owens, I am spreading my wings. Spread them, baby. Spread your wings, and when you spread them and walk and do your little prance and stuff, and then take off. After you spread them, just go. Don't look back. Miss Redhead, I am spreading my wings. Yes. Jarvis Stokes, cryptocurrency is an asset. I got to figure out how I can show up and show out on that topic without getting in trouble, since I am regulated. Lily Mae Vickers, she says she's driving. All right, now don't text and drive. Just wait till you get to a red light or you stop. I am my biggest asset. Yes, you are. Exclaim it, proclaim it, reprogram your subconscious mind. I love that. Denise Ward, I am my biggest asset. Tangela Sweeting, I am my biggest asset. You are. Jarvis Stokes, I am my biggest asset. Miss Redhead, Aaron Harris, both of you say I am my biggest asset. And my girl Janice McCrary started the show off. She says, I am my biggest asset. I love that so much. Jarvis is back. Let's see. All right, I want to make sure. Tracy, my girl Tracy. What's up, Tracy? Let me tell y'all about Tracy. Tracy is our virtual receptionist. Tracy made such an impact on me when she started working for us years ago. She learned, let me tell you about somebody who's in tune with their job. She learned who we were, who we are. My daughter would be in school and she would call my daughter by name. She would call and she would say, oh, is this such and such? Okay, hold on. I'll put you through to your mom. And my daughter would say, how does she know my name? Because she's in tune. I love that. I love that. She's just in tune. So if you get a good reception when you call, that's Tracy. Give Tracy a shout out when you call here. Fab Niece, thank you so much for being here. All right, I see those OPMs coming in. Thank y'all for showing up, showing out, and being present and being engaged. Because when you're engaged, the reason why I ask you to drop these things in the comments, because I want to make sure you up. It's not just for me. I know this stuff already. I want to make sure you're up, you're engaged, and then when you write it, when you type it, you make that commitment. You send that little signal that says, oh, shoot, I'm really committing to this. So that's why I actually drop things in the comment section to make sure you get what you're supposed to get. All right. I think we're good. I think I went through everybody already. Yes. Awesome. All right. Well, you have been tuned in to the American Cream Show. I'm your host, Hyacinth Henderson. And on Cream, I show you, teach you, lead you, guide you. I guide you because it's not my journey. It's your journey. But I want you to win on your journey. So I guide you on ways to redefine your American dream on your terms with credit, real estate, entrepreneurship, assets, and mindset. Stay tuned. After this at 10:30, we're going to have the Understanding Money Part 2 show. If you want some one-on-one talk and conversation, give us a call, 305-825-1444. If you're not already subscribed, please be sure to subscribe to the American Cream Podcast. It is different from the YouTube. It is different from the Facebook. So pull out your phone, subscribe to the podcast. And if you haven't done so already, leave me a rating and a review. Until next week, y'all stay safe and stay sane. Let me find the end button. I don't got my glasses on. All right. Stay safe and stay sane. Peace.